Happy Tuesday. It's Teaching Tuesday. And I'm back again, y'all. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. So this is going to be a thing. I see it happening. And I want to thank those of you who tuned in last week. We had so much fun and you told me to come back. So here I am. I'm back. And today we're going to add a little razzle dazzle to the party. And I'm going to actually go live on TikTok as well. So I had to set that up really quickly because I don't know if you know this about StreamYard these days, is that unfortunately they no longer have the setup so you can go directly into a Facebook group. And that's somewhat problematic because instead of just going live, right, and it going into all of these different places, you now have to go live, make sure it goes over to those places, and come back over here and do your thing. So hopefully, if you're in Founder Folks, Your Brand in Demand, possibly even The Cave, I can't remember. I just clicked a whole bunch of groups, and so I'm there. And so, hello, how you doing? My name is Stephanie D. McKenzie. I'm an award-winning marketer, TEDx speaker, Amazon best-selling author. But really, the work that I love is being a brand strategist, business educator, and a fractional CMO, CBO, or CLO. That's a whole lot to just say, you know what? I love helping people win and empowering them to do the things that they love to do from the most efficient and effective standpoint. That is what absolutely excites me. So give me 1 second. Y'all, you guys check in. Let me know where you're coming in from. What are you up to? Scale of 1 to 10. How is your day been? And I'm going to get live on TikTok really fast. Give me 1 second. Keep talking. I see we've got a comment in the room. Hey, hey, hey. If you're over on Facebook, feel free to send stars to show your support. Actually, I'm going to leave that up, because you should send me stars. I'm pretty amazing. You should send me stars. I love it. All right, so we're going to figure out how to go live over here. I don't want that. I want me. I just want me. And that's all I want. Just want me. That's all I want. Just me. All right, I think we got it together. I think. TikTok is such a finicky little bear. All right, so I have to go live on TikTok on a whole different device because StreamYard also doesn't have those capabilities. So I'm going to see if I can make this happen. Stephanie, you should have tried this before you did it. Well, I did try it before. I'm hoping that's going to work. Okay. I'm going to turn everything to a corner. Now everybody can see everything. Cool. Except I don't like that sitting that way. Stephanie, why didn't you do all of this before you got started? Shut up. Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you all of that, right? And I like to be in frame in a particular way. And the good news is we have something in particular to talk about. Hey, TikTok. Hey, Facebook. Hey, YouTube. Hey, LinkedIn. How you doing? Please make sure if you are on Facebook that you send stars to show your support. If you're on LinkedIn, by all means, say hello. Truthfully, I never get any good traction on LinkedIn. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I really don't. But I still do it because it can sit there. The beauty of doing videos on on LinkedIn, hey, TikTok, is that ultimately everybody can see them later. And so when I was doing LinkedIn audio, that just wasn't working out. All right. So today we're going to get into business myths. Business myths that possibly actually don't make you any money. They just really sound good. And what's going on TikTok? I know you know the drill. I know a lot of things. A lot of things are said, especially in business. People always have advice. I don't know who gets more advice, pregnant people or business people. If you have a thought on that, please drop it in the comments. But I don't know who gets more advice, pregnant people or business people. And a lot of times, I'll be honest with you, the advice that you get as a business person, even as a pregnant person, and some of y'all can speak to that. A lot of the advice you get for being in business comes from people who wanted to do business a particular way. Now, some of you know I'm completely against hustle. I'm completely against grind. Why am I against hustle and grind? Because usually the people that I hear say, oh man, I got to hustle, I got to grind. They're usually the people who don't have any type of strategy in place. They're working harder than they have to. And for me, I'm like, okay, we can fix that. Like like, I don't understand why anybody, think about it like this. Your hustle and grind is usually wasting you both time and money. So if you have both of those resources, why not put them into a place where they can actually work to your advantage? That's just my 22 cents on the matter. Y'all let me know if that resonates. Instead of running around doing everything on your own, wondering why you're not winning, trying to figure out why something doesn't work. Truthfully, I've been doing this. I've been doing this for decades. I know why it doesn't work. I know why it's not selling. I can do that with my own stuff. I can look at my own stuff and be like, yeah, I know why that didn't hit. In fact, some of you will see that as it relates to the Leverage Lab, thank you for the likes. As it relates to the Leverage Lab, I'm live in two places, y'all. So if you see me look over here and then look over here, that's why. Talking to the TikTok people. Y'all, everybody say hi to the TikTok people. Hey, TikTok people. So anyway, I don't know why I have on Run DMC's glasses today, but this is where we are, and that's where we shall be. Thank you for the heart me's. Yeah, TikTok is way more active than you guys. So I'm gonna have to show them some love. Hey Omega, hey Miss Fifi, Tap Kings in the house, etc., etc., etc. I don't know who's viewing over here unless you make yourself known. So please make yourself known so I can talk about you and talk about how amazing you are. I can talk about how I have the Caribbean Oprah literally on TikTok talking to me. And I had the privilege of serving this individual, this amazing creature, this beautiful creator. Now it probably feels like a 2.5 years ago, and it was such a privilege to be able to be in your orbit and work with you and all those things. So okay, back over here. So ultimately, I looked at the Leverage Lab and I was like, okay, Steph, you know that you have more than one thing to teach. So what if you just make the lab a thing? Just make the lab a thing, like something that's ongoing, which is why if you go on the page now, you'll see that we dropped it down to a subscription. You can pay one time. I think it's $800 for a year. And then, or you can pay monthly $77, which also hits my points about being accessible versus affordable. Does that make sense? So now what's going to be your excuse? Because I'm going to tell you the truth. It's so interesting to me. The people who have paid me thousands, I don't have to like switch anything up for them. They just be like, okay, I'm on. Smaller price points have a tendency to have a longer selling cycle. And I do wonder, actually, I don't have to wonder. I know why it is. I understand the psychology of pricing as well as psychology of marketing. And so it's super duper, but it's just super interesting to watch, right? It's just super interesting to watch. Anywho, it's Teaching Tuesday over here. Hey, TikTok, what's going on? If any of you have, thank you for the likes. Y'all are really getting it up there. Look at y'all. So listen, TikTok, if y'all have questions, today is Teaching Tuesday. So if you have questions about your business, your brand, AI, methodologies, anything, drop it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to get to you guys. I'm straddled between devices. Make sure you get your heart me's. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the gifts. I'm going to get into this thing. All right. Hey, back to you guys. All right. So hopefully I am live in all of these places. We hope. Would it be crazy? I'm doing all this talking and I'm not live at all. Somebody let me know if I'm live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Where are you watching me from? Let me know. Because TikTok got it hopping over here. We're already at 1,000 likes. Maybe I should just talk to them. Hey, y'all, what's going on? Okay, so I'm going to talk to both of you guys. Of course, I'm not going to leave anybody out. Nobody gets left behind, right? But I will ask you to not be stingy with the stuff. Please make sure. Oh, absolutely. Please make sure that you are in here, that you're getting all the goodness. If you're in Founder Folks, drop me a FF. If you're in Turn a Class into Cash, drop me a, I don't know, cash. If you're in the Cave, please drop me a cave. These are all the groups that we have. If you're in Powerful Women in Business Global, drop me a PWIB, and shout out for being an admin of that group. That is not my group, but I am an administrator of that group. So yeah, I'm going to stream into that group and let people know who I am and see me and say hello and do all the things. All right, so let's get into this. I think we got plenty of time. I know I started a wee bit late. Thank you for the tab. Look at y'all. I love it. All right, so I'm going to stay focused, guys, but I'm going to go from here to here, from here to here. I will tell you, like I said in the post, make sure you bring a friend and a pen because we're going to get into this. All right, today is Teaching Tuesday. We're talking about business myths that don't make you money. They really just sound good, y'all. They really just sound good. And one of the first things I want to address, I've got notes today, so you know it's serious. One of the first things I want to address today is the idea of start messy. Start messy, okay? Start messy is the first business myth that doesn't make you any money, because if you misinterpret what is meant by start messy, this is where your hell will ultimately begin. When people say start messy, right? Shout out to one of my mutuals, Stacey Ann. I love her. I love all of her program names. She's on UK time, so it's evening for her. So if you're seeing this, hey girl. She says start messy, right? I say just start. Lots of people say start messy, but some of y'all have misinterpreted that to mean start janky. Janky does not equal messy. Well, what's the difference, Stephanie? Messy means you don't have all of the pieces like to go. Like you don't have everything ready to go. You might not even know if the thing is going to hit or not, and that's fine. But you do have a bit of order to what you're doing. When you start janky, you're just doing something. That's hustle minded. Like you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what it should look like. You don't know what it is. You got this weird looking little logo in Canva. And I've told you guys about making logos in Canva because Canva says that is their logo, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, my eyes are really puffy today. Whatever, doesn't matter. I'm human. I get to have puffy eyes. I'm going to bed later than I thought. I could have sworn I went to bed like 10. I think it was more like 12 after 12, right? So messy does not equal janky. And I'm seeing a lot of people that are starting janky and then being shocked and appalled when they're not getting the buy-in. I'm like, listen, there's this ideology around wanting to be luxury and high end and all of these things. People are using these words, right? But if your visuals do not match your value proposition, right? Or your value proposition doesn't have visuals to match, we're already unalived in the water. I told some of you guys over here the same thing. If I told you that, TikTok, just say, yep, you said it. Just validate me for a second, right? Because people want to sit there. I know a lot of people, and I talked about this with one of my really good friends. She's like a sister to me. In fact, she is a sister to me. In fact, I've decided that we're cousins, like we're related, and that's that. And if she's watching this, then she knows who she is. But what tickles me like super duper greatly is how many people go into business to just make money. How many of y'all know there are people who go into business to just make money? Listen to my verbiage. Just, 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 just make money. And I told you last week, stop saying that you're doing things. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm so noble. I like being broke. I'm like, there is nothing noble, nor pious, nor holy about being broke. We've got to get off of that. That's complete and utter foolishness. But our challenge is that you can't do it just for the money. Exactly. You've got to want to serve in some way. See, TikTok gets it. Thank you, Omega. Like TikTok gets it. We've got to have some element of servitude, servanthood in this thing. Yeah, I'm going to get paid, and I'm going to get paid really well. Y'all, I can't even tell you how many times I've been paid really well. I can still sometimes sit back and say, Stephanie, why did you shut down a six-figure business? Well, because it was unaliving me slowly. And I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And you get to do that. Did it create a bit of friction, like financial friction? Absolutely. Right? Still does. But in the balance of me taking care of me, that's the priority, right? So yeah, we got to do it for the money, but not just for the money. And I can tell you, anytime I've gotten into a weird situation and I did something just for the money, it was a complete and utter fecal fest. Like it was a fecal fest, y'all. That's what it was. Complete and utter fecal fest. All right. So y'all are real quiet over here. Unfortunately, I cannot jump back into Facebook because I also know Facebook has this crazy habit of not showing me comments when I'm live. So if you commented, I'm sorry. I am on TikTok. I can't flip over to Facebook and take a look. Hey, TikTok, is this helping you guys at all? Are you feeling good about it? Make sure you share this out. Never, ever, ever, ever be stingy with the Stephanie. Lots of goodness, lots of goodness. All right, so that's the first business myth. And oh my goodness, I've got like 6 minutes to get through the rest. I must have started a wee bit later today, and that's okay. All right, so the next one is all you need is Canva. Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you this from the bottom of my soul. If Canva was that easy, everybody using it would have stellar graphics. I can literally peep on site when you use Canva and you don't know what the hell you're doing, flat out. And I can tell that you went in and you used the template, and the template is like, the spacing is weird. The spacing is weird. The colors are weird. The graphic is not graphicking. And by the way, you used a whole different template yesterday. Okay. And here's the problem with Canva. As somebody who actually can do graphic design, shout out to Niche Rose, shout out to Key Jordan. Listen, I'm going to call you the name that you use in social media, even if I know your real name. So Key Jordan, some of my other graphic designers, shout out to Daria Samby. Those like our creative people and our creative team over on this side. Because one thing that you want to understand, again, if the value and the visuals don't sync up, you can charge whatever you want. Nobody's going to pay it. If it looks cheap, people think it's cheap. And you say things like, oh, well, I'm just starting out or whatever. If you don't have the resources to get a graphic designer or a visual artist, because graphic designers don't build brands. I'm going to say this. That's another myth. Graphic designers, listen to me carefully, TikTok. Graphic designers, there's not one graphic designer that can build you a brand. What you're looking for is a visual brand expert. You're looking for a visual brand artist. Those are the people who can build you a brand. I can build you a brand. And brand development has multiple layers to it. It's not run in Canva, grab a template, slap something on it, voila. One, because Canva says that's their logo. And until they change their terms and conditions, you're now operating with a creative asset that you can't protect. And in business, when you can't protect stuff, you're automatically setting yourself up for failure, right? That's why some of these systems exist, allegedly, to protect you, but you can leverage them for your protection. They exist for quite a few other reasons, and we'll get into that later. But like I said, thank y'all for the likes. Look at this. TikTok's over at 2,000 plus, 2.6 thousand likes. Look at you guys. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, and over here, like I said, I can't tell who's in, who's out, who's what. I apologize. But nevertheless, let's keep going. And nothing wrong. I'm going to say this. Nothing wrong with using Canva. One of the best investments you could make is probably if you've already had, because y'all, these homemade logos, y'all are slaying me. You slaying me, baby. You slaying me. And I don't know how many ways I can say this. Please leave the Britney font alone. And it's not because I hate it. I only hate it because so many people use it. And ultimately, that means it's out in it's too out in the market. And there's nothing special about it, and it's super hard to read. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So in that, right, we don't just need Canva. Oh my God, I can't stand it. It makes me want to cry. Like I literally want to sit in a corner in fetal position and bawl like crocodile tears. That's what I want to do. That's just what I want to do. So there's nothing wrong with using Canva, but understand your own limitations. If everything you do is another template, we already got a problem because one, you're creating inconsistencies. When you create inconsistencies, you also simultaneously create mistrust. People don't buy from people they mistrust. They just don't. And I've had to rein in a lot of people and be like, hey, Hey, you, listen. We want to show up as cleanly as possible. We want to, and if you say, hey, I don't know anything about graphic design, I don't know anything about that, Stephanie, help. Well, listen, if you don't know anything about graphic design and you can't afford a graphic designer, a visual artist, et cetera, then you got to do it on your own. I got a whole video about that over on YouTube that you can check out. I think it's called the Best Brand Class Ever. We also have a class in the college called Before You Brand. We also have our program called Your Brand in Demand, which you can get access to. I taught that class for 6 weeks. It is geared towards coaches and service-driven professionals, but the information in that program actually does translate to anybody. So if you're like, oh my God, I don't understand brand. I don't understand it. Well, the reason why you don't understand it is because people didn't want you to understand it. Okay. Brand has been used as kind of like a catch-all. It's like a Louis Vuitton catch-all bag. And it's been used to be everything from, spending millions of dollars on billboards. If you're a large company, hundreds of thousands of dollars on billboard. If you're a large company, which is also called out of home, all the way to just making sure people say your name a lot, right? Brand was actually not used in the context that we use it now early on. In fact, I have been branding companies for 20 plus years, but we didn't call it that. It was just the legwork that came before doing anything creative. So brand development, let me get this straight for you guys. Brand development is where you are literally going to analyze what you are, who you are, what you do, who buys it, why they should care. What problem do you solve? What situation what do you solve? Solve, innovate, eliminate, etc. Solve, resolve, innovate, eliminate. That's my 4 keys right there. So you're doing all of that, right? You're doing all of that in brand development. Some of y'all are just skipping your happy behind the creative development. Because I need a logo and a website. You don't need a logo and a website. And if Daria was here, she would tell you, you don't need a logo and a website if you don't know who you're selling to and you don't know who your audiences are. This is a horrible angle. See if I can make it work. Okay. I still have to look over here. Nah, whatever. Okay. Are y'all bothered? If y'all are bothered, I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna go back and forth. I just have to because I want to look y'all in the face and I want to look them in the face. All right, great. So y'all let me know if that's making sense though. I said I was going to keep these short. I've got like many more myths and not a lot of time. So if this was helpful, if you caught this fresh, put live in the comments. Hey, Oni or Oni. Hey, Oni. Tell me what it is. I hate pronouncing things incorrectly. All right. And over here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, if you're catching this live, just put live in the comments. That would be awesome. So I've just gotten into 2 myths and I have like 6. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to skip around. I'm going to go to 2 more. Actually, I think I'm going to just go through them all. Is that okay with y'all? If that's okay with y'all, just put yep in the comments. Okay. Yay. I'm looking for the yeps. I'm looking for the yeps. I'm looking for the yeps. All right. Let me make sure. Coolio. Just a reminder, brand is about expectation. You can't set expectations in the creative aspect. You got to set it in the brand development aspect. That's why I'm like, when I do brand development, literally paper and pen. No creative, no Canva, no nothing until we get to the point where we have a keen understanding about who our audiences are psychographically and demographically. When you skip your happy behind over to creative development, you are removing the effectiveness of creative development. Whatever we create must be baked. Whatever we create must be baked. Whatever we create, be baked. Okay, sorry. So whatever we create must be baked. And so if you don't know who you're trying to catch, think about it. If any of you are fishermen, if you don't know what fish you're trying to catch, you could take a bunch of different lures, but isn't it more effective to take the lure that's actually going to work on the fish that you're trying to catch? I'm just saying. Asking for a friend or something? Okay, great. So, all right, I'm going to get through this and we're going to be done. I really like my hair. Y'all tell Monica Johnson I really like my hair. If you see her today, just give her a high five and be like, girl, you did that. All right, great. Good talk. So let's talk about avatars. I can do this one really quickly. I can't stand avatars and ICPs. I said it yesterday. Can't stand it. Avatars and ICPs. What's an ICP? Oh God, I just forgot that quickly. Intended client profile. And I'm like, okay. Like all of those things have people believing that these things called psychographics and demographics are irrelevant. They are so not irrelevant. They're absolutely necessary. And if you don't understand that and you go right to your avatar, honestly, we don't avatarize anything until we have our psychographics and our demographics. And our psychographics are actually more important. Because I have a media background, right? I know that demographics are huge. Demographics often dictate what we're going to do in media, where we're going to place media, how we're going to buy media, what type of media that we're going to purchase, right? But when you're selling and you're not doing media per se, media advertising, even digital media, if you're not doing advertising, then what becomes even more important and actually is equally important regardless is the psychographics, because the psychographics, and I've said this before, it's what they value, is how they think. It's the difference in saying, oh, you want to help women versus, oh, you want to serve professional blue collar women who make $100,000 plus, who are single, and who value travel, freedom, and developing as a human being. That part, the travel and developing as a human being, that is the key that many of you are missing when you're looking at your target audiences. Your psychographics are off. And because your psychographics are off, so is everything else. Because you're not speaking to the pain and purpose, right? You're not speaking to the pain and purpose points that they need to hear. All right. All right. So the avatar piece is just leaving people stuck. Avatars and ICPs, I feel like leave people stuck. I do it old school. We've got target audiences. Sometimes it's a primary, secondary, and sometimes even a tertiary audience. I have written strategies with a tertiary audience. All right. Last two. Are you ready? Are y'all taking notes? Y'all got notes over here? TikTok, you do. You got notes over here? Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And before I get into these last two, let me remind you, the Leverage Lab starts on August the 26th. The lab is something that we're going to continue to do because I've got so much stuff I can teach you. And the beauty of the lab is that it's hands-on. So you're not just going to get a bunch of information over 3 nights and then have to go implement it. Whatever information I'm giving you, you're going to do in those 3 days. So for this one, you walk in with an idea, you walk out with a podcast. The next one, I'm trying to remember because I have a whole schedule of these. I think that's the TEDx one, I think. Maybe. But yeah, I got a whole list of them. And so that's why we changed the pricing structure. And you can now get in for $77 a month. But there is a year commitment. So the numbers are based on you being in for a year. And I know that sounds like a really long time. But by the way, January was like 8 months ago. And August is now in double digits. Tomorrow is August 20th. It will be September in like a heartbeat. That's what we're dealing with, people. All right. Okay. So another business myth that doesn't make you any money is believing that there's enough room for everyone. Now, I say this all the time. There's enough money out there for everyone, but that's only half of the story. Even though there's room for everyone, you're still required to make space, to create a space for yourself, right? And that is where these things that I'm talking about come in. Favorite thing for me to do is not build your brand, but to leverage the brand equity in it. I can't leverage brand equity if you haven't created brand equity by showing up, right? And sharing the things and making, and putting the offers out and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Part of the reason why people don't want to make space is because it's easier to stay generic. It looks more humble. I'm like, we don't do humility over here, right? I once had a business coach that said humility is for the weak. I processed that really hard at first. It was very triggering the first time I heard him say that. And then I thought about it and I was like, that's accurate. And I'm going to tell you why it's accurate, because oftentimes we're not being humble, we're hiding. We're not being humble, we're hiding. So if you're just now tuning in, how you doing? My name is Stephanie D. McKenzie, and I am talking about business myths that don't make you money. And I'm talking about that over 4 different platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube over here, TikTok over here. So if you have a question, a comment, please drop it. I can't see anything. I have a sneaky feeling I'm going to look up and see a million comments once I log back into Facebook. But unfortunately, I'm using my phone for the good people over in TT land. And so I can't check it right now. All right. But you got to be willing to make space for yourself. One of the ways that you make space for yourself is to tell your stories, not just your origin story, but to tell stories. Tell stories about your clients. Tell stories about how your product impacted. Stop being afraid to blow your own horn. Toot, toot, toot. All right. All right. And this is the biggest myth that does not make you money. All right. This is the last one. If y'all already put last in the comments, I'm a little over, well, I'm not actually over my time. I kind of am, but I'm kind of not. I started a little bit later today, and I'm okay with that. Are y'all ready? Are you ready? If you're ready, put ready in the comments. I see you, TikTok. I see you. I see you. Are you ready? You ready, Chocolate Diva? Okay. Thank you for joining. Y'all ready over here? Facebook. I don't know who's watching. If you don't drop a comment, I can't see. So, oh my God, Stephanie, you're not even on the comment. You're not even on the comment page. Okay, there we go. Okay. The last one is just market your business. Just market your business. You got a lot of people out here marketing the heck out of their business. And yeah, it ain't working. Why is it not working? Well, because marketing is a byproduct of brand development, which then begets, we're gonna go biblical with it, begets creative development, which then begets offer development. See how that works? So again, when you're skipping the steps and you go to development, you're skipping like Mario Brothers over to creative development, and now you're just like, boom, I'm just gonna put it out here and hope people come. I'm like, look here, Huckleberry Tom Thumb, who is it? Please, may I have some more? Whatever. Like, that's not how this works. So you got a lot of people that's just marketing, because marketing does what? It brings the buyer and the seller together. The marketing. Listen to the words. If you don't know who your markets are, and people is not a market, people. I'm so sorry to had to pop that balloon. If you don't know who your markets are, exactly who are you marketing to? So you're literally just like Mardi Gras marketing. You're just throwing beads out and hoping somebody shows you their knockers. Like, what are you doing with life? It's not focused. It's not fruitful. It's not. It's not focused nor fruitful. It's not fruitful because it's not focused. I said what I said. And so in order to get to the point where you can market your business effectively, to market yourself effectively, because we didn't even talk about the personal brands. Many of you aren't marketing yourself effectively. I had a great conversation with one of my little sisters about an interview she had coming up. I don't know if you know this, but an interview is a marketing function. And we talked about how she needed to position herself, right? That's a marketing function. Positioning yourself in the market. She had an amazing interview. In fact, she was complimented on her interview skills. We had one conversation. Voila. So understand now, there's a vast difference between marketing your business and it doesn't work, and marketing your business and you're not quite getting the results. If you're getting the results, but you don't like the results, sometimes that's a market problem. Sometimes it's a messaging problem. Okay. It could be a combination of both. And so if you want to sit down and talk about that, check out link in bio. Hi, Ina. Check out link in bio. See if there's anything I can assist you with. I'm always happy to do so. We do a connection call. It's 30 minutes. It's no pitch. You get to spend time with me. I get to spend time with you. Yay, us. All right. But just marketing, think it through, boo-boo. If you don't know who your markets are, and not people, and not women, and not men, and not a huge segment of the populace, if you can't break that thing down again psychographically and demographically, what are we doing, Thelma? What are we doing? What we're doing is we're spending a lot of time and money hoping that the right people show up. Please, sir, may I have some more? I want you to stop doing that because you know I'm obsessed with seeing you win. I'm obsessed with seeing you win. For those of you who are just tuning in, we're talking about today is Teaching Tuesday, and we're talking about business myths that don't make you money. They just sound good. So when you truly effectively want to market your business, it requires you to go back and look at who is your actual audience. And in fact, the best thing you can have is the data of your previous sales. Look at the people who have bought from you. Who bought with no problem? Who saw value in what you offered? Can you get more of them? Take stock. Why did they come in? What did they want? What experience do they claim they had with you? All right, guys. So that's all I got. If there's any questions over here, TikTok, if you have a question about brand, business, personal brand, operations, growth, strategies, da 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 da, personal brand, whatever, drop it in there. Same thing to you guys over here. I'm going to hang out for about 5 minutes in case you guys have questions. And then I'm going to go back to work. What's going on? Good to see you. 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 All right, I'm just gonna hang out. I don't know, for those of you who don't do lives, when we do a live stream, there's always about an 8 to 10 second delay between when I say it and when others hear it. So I just want to make sure that you have a chance. If you have a question, if you want to ask me a question about the Leverage Lab, I'm really excited about this. To date, we don't have anybody registered. And I'm going to tell you, one of the challenges with many of you is that you do not invest in yourself. That's a whole problem. That's a whole problem. Now, I try to keep things accessible, but truthfully, a program like this could easily be $900 to $1,000 plus a person with no payment plans. But I want to ensure that the things that we offer are accessible. I'm believing affordability. If you can't afford it, that's your problem. But if I'm not giving you the opportunity to access it, that is on me. And I can't sit here and say, oh, I want to serve you and not build in some form of accessibility, right? Which is why we have subscriptions in addition to a one-time, you know. I'm going to make sure that you get what you need. All right. So just keep that in mind. All right, TikTok, any questions over here? I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, boo. What's my daily ranking over here? Let me see. I'm sure I'm in the D squad. Oh, I'm popular. Popular live, popular live. Hey, if you're here, drop me a comment. Otherwise, I don't know you're here. All right, Miss Fifi is back. Hey, good. Any questions? I've got about 3 minutes left before I wrap this up. Wrap this thing up, Steph. Wrap it on up. I never wear these glasses, but I grabbed them today. I mean, I think with a full little beat situation, funk up the hair a little bit. I said funk, Funk, funk up the hair a little bit. They could work. I think. I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm a Zenni ambassador, so if you love my glasses, feel free to go to buymyzennies.com. But yeah, I never wear these glasses, but I picked them up today. So again, you can go to buymyzennies.com. BUYMYZENNIS, buymyzennies.com. Additionally, over on YouTube, we just released a new video, which is a PLR tutorial. If you don't know anything about PLR, it's private label rights. It allows you to get access to materials that you can put your name on and begin selling as soon as tonight. So there's a lot of things you can get your hands on, people. You can get your hands on. So make sure that you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, all the things. If you have a question and you want to ask it in private, you can always DM me one question. If it gets to the point where we're having a whole back and forth, you're going to get on my calendar. And truthfully, if it gets to the point where it's a real back and forth, I'm going to send you an invoice. All right. Because my time is precious. And as I've told you before, Money separates the serious from the curious, so act accordingly. All right, guys. So listen, that does it for me. Hopefully, business myths that don't make you any money has helped you guys. If it did, put yep in the comments. Share this. Do me a favor, guys. Now, TikTok, you can't do this, but you guys over here can do this. Share this with 3 friends that you think would find this information helpful. All right. Feel free to share it to them, tag it, tag them, whatever you want to do. But make sure you are never, ever, ever be stingy with the stuff. My name is Stephanie D. McKenzie, and you've been watching Teaching Tuesday. Talk to you later. Bye. All right, TikTok, that's it for you. And let's do this. Y'all ready? Have a beautiful day.